and let's keep it very interactive. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker today. She's an alumni from eMobilis. Her name is Jedidah Wangeci. She'll be sharing her experience in the tech journey, in the tech space, how she was able to join eMobilis, what she did, and so much more. The challenges, how she was able to overcome the challenges, and so much more. So without further ado, we'd like to invite Jedidah Wangeci to speak to us. Welcome, Jedidah.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Jedidah Wangeci, and I'm an alumni of eMobilis. I was actually there from January till May last year.
Maybe you can have your video
although
on
we
if it's
stopped
okay,
going to classes.
That we can see.
Okay.
Is it okay? If it's okay with you.
Hi. Okay, so as I was saying, I was there for a period of 5 months, although we stopped going to classes due to the pandemic. But all in all, I'd say that the course was very educative, very informative, and it taught us a lot. I'd like to appreciate Mr. Wanyama. He was a very good teacher. So currently I work at Tracom Services as a full stack developer. And first and foremost, I'd like to appreciate for being given this opportunity that I have been given to speak. I'd like to start off with a story of how I started in the tech career. So I took a course in computer science, and I won't lie, prior to that, I was excited about going to school to take computer science, but when I got there, I was intimidated at first because in a class of 50, we were only 5 girls. For a while, I got scared and lost interest until I came to realize that it didn't really matter because whatever a man could do, I also could do. There was not such a big deal. I'm so thrilled that the world has set a day aside to recognize women in the tech field. And I know that there's a misconception that this tech industry is a man's world, but generally it's just by default that fewer women are actually enrolling into these programs with a fear that it might be too technical for them. And I would like to debunk this misconception. Studies have shown that women are as good, if not even better than men at this field. And fun fact, the first computer programmer was actually a woman, Ada Lovelace. I'd like to encourage girls interested in tech to have no fear, as the key to change is letting go of fear. We should not be afraid of going into these fields that are by default thought of as a man's field, in quotes, because we can do anything. Whatever they can do, we also can do. And I think in the current times, we are lucky that women are now given a fair chance to compete for these positions, not like a while ago when it used to be like, you can't do this because you're a woman or what. Now we are actually being given fair chances to fight. Several people have done it before us. More will come after us, so why not? The pay is actually really motivating, and you're actually involved in solving very unique day-to-day problems. I'd like to encourage girls in this field to find their passion and stick to it. And remember that the only limitations that you have are the ones that you set for yourself. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much, Jedidah. I really like your last saying, you know, the only limitations that we have is the one that we set for ourselves. That's very true. And I also do relate with what you said, that when you're joining campus, doing computer science, you're very few women. Same for my case, when I was doing IT at JQuat, we were like only three or four ladies in a class of 25. So that's very true. It's good to demystify that also women can participate in the tech field, and it's very diverse. Like there are very many courses, there are very many things to do in the tech space. So thank you very much, Jedidah. Maybe does anyone have a question for Jedidah? You know, anything that they have for Jedidah or anything, you can post it on the comment section, and I'm sure she'll be able to answer back. But thank you, Jedidah, for that powerful opening statement. Thank you. So we would now like to go to our first speaker for the day. Her name is Elena Kagungo. She is a software engineer at Microsoft, and today she will be sharing more about herself. So hi, Elinor. Hi. Okay. Hi, Elinor. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Great. It's great to have you on this call.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So I'd just like you to introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Elena Kagungo. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft, where I've been working there for like the past 2 years. I started off as an intern, and now I just work as a full-time software engineer. I can explain. I'm not sure, just in case there's someone who's not too clear on what a software engineer is. Basically, a software engineer is someone who uses, the same way humans communicate. We have our own language, and sometimes you're trying to tell the computer how to do some things. And so basically, the computer has its own language, and it tries to understand what us humans are telling it to do. So software engineers come in to kind of translate this to the computer, and also use a lot of other things that we learn to make programs that people can use, people can interact with. They could be games, they could be apps, they could be websites, just a whole bunch of things. Yeah.
Great to hear that. So just tell us, what inspired you to venture into the tech space? Is it something that you wanted to do since you're young, or is it something that developed with time?
I'd say it's something that developed with time. I guess I had an interest when I was young. I developed an interest when I was young, when we got our first computer at home, and it had Windows 98 at the time. And I think the only thing I was mainly interacting with at that point was Paint. I don't know, for most people, I feel like the first application that was exciting was Paint. So it was really just learning to paint things and all that, drawing lines and shapes. And then that kind of advanced to playing games, because and I guess that's also my interest in games started. So I started by playing games. I was playing a lot of games. And sometimes when I was bored, I just I just open folders, change icons, just play around with things. And then, we went to high school, and I did computer studies. And funny enough, it was the only thing that came a little easier to me, because, with maths, with chemistry, all those, I was struggling, but computer studies was the only thing that came easier to me. Then when I finished, I still wasn't drawn to the tech side. I actually wanted to pursue architecture, but I got a push from my mom, because she noticed that I was doing well in tech. Yeah. And she was like, why don't you try something in the tech side? So I went searching and everything, I thought I wanted she told me to do IT. She told me to do IT, but I didn't want to do IT. I wanted something a bit more unique. I don't know. At that time, I felt like everyone was doing IT. So I wanted something a bit unique. So that's when I found computer science. And I was like, okay, let's try this out, only to find maths there. And I was, fearing maths at the time, but actually you shouldn't be scared of maths. It's doable. It's doable. I don't know where the fear came from, but yeah, basically that's how eventually I ventured there. That's how I got inspired.
That's really nice to hear. So for you, in your case, did you have also the challenge whereby there were few women in your class, or for you, was it a balanced ratio?
For me, we were actually balanced. We were balanced, but the unfortunate thing was after I finished, not so many women picked up roles in tech. Not so many of us ended up taking roles in tech, but a good number did continue with the tech side. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very unique situation, because most of the time you'd find it's women are very few, but that's a very unique situation and scenario.
Yeah.
So good to hear. I'm sure people are here wondering, how do I become a software engineer at Microsoft? Like Microsoft, that's such a prestigious company, especially in tech. So tell us, how did you become a software engineer at Microsoft?
Okay, the first thing I would say is definitely try and try again. Like it doesn't come easy to everyone, and you can't lose hope. So the first time I remember a recruiter came to our university, and they were looking to hire software engineers. And I was so excited. It was Microsoft. It was the first time, and they were looking to hire people and like work for them at the headquarters in US. This was so exciting, but the interview process was so crazy. So she started off by telling us to apply. We applied, and through the portal, which is careers.microsoft.com. So we applied through there, and then she called us in for a kind of interview where she was just getting to know us. It was more behavioral questions, yeah. So getting to know us and things like that. And then she explained to us, like, how this interview process is going to go, what's expected and everything. And so we had about 6 weeks was it 6 weeks or something? Or was it, I don't know, around 4 to 6 weeks, yeah, to study and read the material before doing the first interview. So, I was studying, I spent my time, I had 2 other friends who had applied, and we spent our time, our afternoons, because now during the day you're school, so in the afternoon we are studying, we're trying to understand data structures, we're trying to understand algorithms, how to manipulate strings, trying to even figure out which language I'm comfortable in to do it in, because I felt like in university I had tiny bits of knowledge on all languages, like it was C, it was C#, it was Java, I just had tiny, and there's no one language I knew properly. So it was starting to, I was kind of I felt like I was starting from scratch, just starting a whole new language again. After we went on and did the first interview. It was over Skype, and I didn't pass that one. My friends passed, and they went to the next stage, which was face-to-face interviews. This were in South Africa, and they were taken there by the company. It was so cool. I felt so bad, but it was so cool. They were taken there, and after when they were there, they had like 4 interviews back to back. And when you pass like one of them, basically these were the different hiring managers in different teams trying to see who they can pick. So once you fitted in once a hiring manager liked you and felt that, yeah, you're a right fit and you passed, you'd know your results by the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys already knew, and yeah, sure enough, a year later, they were flown out and they went. Then I was crushed, because I didn't pass, and I felt so bad. And I thought that was it then, I'm not as good then. I don't know, something in you. And these two were guys to make it worse. They were guys. So I was like, okay, there's something, what is I lacking? Anyway, then a few months later, I decided to do a different course. I decided to try out a certificate course. And then for a short time while I figure out what to do next or where to apply and things like that, just to keep myself busy. Then again, I got a chance to apply, but this time it was for an intern position. I didn't know it was at Microsoft till I was told, forward your CV to so-and-so at Microsoft.com. And I was like, again, I felt some trauma. I was like, I cannot go through this again. Yeah, I remember, and I felt so bad. I was like, I can't go through this and feel this bad again. But so I went, and then I sent my CV, and then I was called in for an interview, and I did like one pen. It was writing on paper, pen and paper. It was a technical interview with a coding question. And and then they didn't get back to me like for a long time. So I thought, okay, I haven't gotten it again. Here we are. But luckily, after a month is when now they reached out to me, and I got an intern position. And then from an intern, I was there it was just for 4 months. And then after that, I moved on to a junior software dev. But all this time I was a vendor. So in these big companies, they have like full-time employees, they have interns, and they have vendors. Vendors are kind of, they're like people on contract. You're like on part-time, you're on a contract. So you work for a certain time, and it's like you're a consultant of sorts. It's like you've come in to just help with some projects and then you leave. So that time I was a vendor, and then thanks to, the kind of work I was doing and I proved myself, I guess, I was able to now get a full-time position. So like to get in, I just say, even if the first time it didn't work out, you don't give up. You just keep at it, you sharpen those skills, you keep, and you ask them like, okay, what is it that I lacked? What is there? Is it my understanding of data science? Most of the times they'll be willing to tell you. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. And truly try again. Don't give up. Maybe just ask, maybe this second time were there like 6 interviews, or was it just one interview the second time around?
This time it was one interview because I was just joining as an intern. It wasn't as the other one was full-time, but this one I was just joining as an intern, so it was a very short process. And I think the company hadn't yet fully formed here. The ADC hadn't started. There was just a small team that was here doing the work, but they hadn't gained a lot of visibility yet in Kenya and in the company itself. So I just entered at a good time.
Clearly. Okay. And right now, what's the ratio of men to women at Microsoft, especially in your space?
I would say still there are like more men. Definitely there are way more men. One of the challenges I've had over the past year was looking around and realizing that there were no senior engineering managers. There were no senior software engineering managers around who are female. Like there were just men. And I think the only senior manager was a program manager. It wasn't even a software engineer. And so for me, I was like, okay, what's happening there, But generally, there've been a lot more men than women. But for our team has gotten a bit better. We were at a point we were actually balanced, but as more hiring came in, we lost that balance again. And now in our team, we're about 20 and only 4 of us are women who are software engineers. And we have 2 other women who are program managers.
Okay.
So it's still a tough balance, yeah.
So maybe are there any programs at Microsoft that are targeting women in tech?
Yeah, there are a few programs that I know of. There was one, I'm not sure if this one is still running, but I remember when I was on contract, there was a program known as Women in Tech. It was called Microsoft Women in Tech or something like that, where it was run by some women in Kenya and some women in India, and we were training girls in university. We were like going through the whole software engineering process, starting with an idea, and they were getting a lot of training. I was a mentor at that time, and I had my own team, and yeah, we were helping out girls. I don't know I don't know if it's, I think because of the pandemic, it's kind of, I don't know, something happened because we had to go physically. We were going physically to the universities and all that. And then I also know of the Leap, it's called the Leap Apprenticeship program. That one aims to train women in software coding, rather in coding, yeah. It aims to train women in coding, but it's also for, sometimes they recruit young girls and sometimes they recruit older women who have been out of the job market. For example, women who took some time out to raise their kids and all that, and now they're ready to come back to work, but they're struggling because, I don't know, technology has passed them, and they're finding it difficult to fit in to understand the current trends and all that. So this program also helps those women who want to get back into the work environment so that they're ready for it. Aside from that, there's also the student ambassadors that one isn't just for women, but it's women also always encouraged to apply. But these are students who in various universities who hold communities, Microsoft communities, where everyone comes together to learn tech skills, to share knowledge. Sometimes they have networking events, sometimes they have boot camps, sometimes different kinds of events and competitions and all that. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting to hear. Maybe if you have the link to maybe the Leap Apprenticeship and student ambassadors, you can post it on the chat so that other guys can see. So yeah, that would be helpful. And maybe
I'll share them.
Okay, maybe just the last question from me would be, how would we get more women interested in tech? Like, just share with us some few ideas you would have.
I think the first place I'd start with is encouraging a lot of young girls, especially while they're at a young age. I'd say a lot of encouragement is needed when you see them pick an interest in tech, because the beauty of tech is that it spans across so many industries. It's not just one side. We have it's there in the creative side, it's there in law side, it's there in business, it's like everywhere, yeah. And so I would say, like, encourage it, a lot of the times, like right now, you'll notice there are a lot of young people who are at home and they're trying to find ways to engage themselves. I don't know whether it's through apps such as TikTok or things like this. There's young people out there making this TikTok videos, and they are editing them and doing everything. And honestly, some of us don't even know how to do that kind of, already that's a skill, like your video editing skills, who knows, you could end up making this graphics that we watch in some of these movies and stuff like that. Yeah. So a lot of encouragement needs to be put there. If they're into art, you can tell them that, okay, there's also some creative in tech. We have graphic designers, we have UI designers, we have such people. If they're into games, we have game developers, we have all these kinds of things. So a lot of encouragement would be the first thing. Then my second point is also talking more about the role models who are there in tech. Because, definitely a lot of things that influence you as a child is the people you see around or the people you hear of. You'll watch a movie and you're like, I want to act like Julia Roberts. I want to be an actor and be like Julia Roberts, or I want to sing and be like Beyonce, or I don't know, different people. So unfortunately, maybe movies may not put out a lot of women in tech, but they're there in the real world. We have the COO of Facebook, we have the CEO of Oracle, who's a billionaire, we have some prominent women in tech who we can talk about and kind of push that message and show girls that, tech it's cool. You can do this, you can do this, you can get rich, you can buy yourself those bags or those clothes that you wanted. And, talk about also the positivity. It's a very flexible field, luckily for us. You see, a lot of us are able to work from home. Quite comfortably. It's so flexible, we need to just put out the good things and to not put that idea of girls are only good in humanities and boys are good in tech or in technical stuff. Not putting that idea in their head. Like, let's just encourage them to venture. If they're good in maths, encourage it. If it's computer studies, go ahead, encourage it. Physics, everything, So those would be my main ideas.
I really like your point, especially on, if it's video editing, go for it. If it's, if it's content creation, go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Even writing, blogs, all that.
Yeah, don't limit yourself. Say, okay, I'm not good in programming, so I can't do this and this. Like this, it's very diverse. I like that the fact that tech is very diverse. So thank you so much, Elinor. Yeah, that was very, very useful. I can see on the chat section we have Lillian, who has a question. She's asking, what's a typical day of a software engineer? Routine, expectations, highs and lows. Maybe you can just touch on it. I know you've already mentioned a bit.
I can talk about my typical day. So my typical day, as I said at the start, our hours are very flexible. So I don't always do 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or any of that. Sometimes I'll find myself starting at 9, sometimes I'll start at 10, sometimes it's really different. But generally I try to start at around 8:30. And so it starts with, in the morning. So my typical day is a bit different because I work for a big company and my managers are mainly based in the US. It wasn't until recently, last week actually, when we got a manager, a locally based manager here for my team. And actually it's a woman, so that's amazing. But so because managers are based in US, a lot of my meetings end up being in the evening. So my morning time is when I can really do my work and such stuff. So I wake up in the morning. In the morning, I realized after we started working from home, I needed to have a timetable for myself. I needed to have something set up. So, in the morning, I have my morning sprint, which I do for 2 hours. Basically just means focusing on whatever task I'm working on for 2 hours, just putting my phone away and all that, just trying to focus for 2 hours. And then I take a break and then I'll come back, look at my emails, because sometimes you get overwhelmed with emails. There are so many from the company, from people, so I come back, I'll look at my emails, then I'll have another shorter sprint, go for lunch. Sometimes with lunch, luckily, because we're at home, I can walk outside, enjoy the sun if it's sunny, or sit and, chat with now people at home. And then in the afternoon, again, another sprint for myself, another 2-hour sprint. And then later on in the afternoon, after like 4 is when I have most meetings. Sometimes my meetings are at 7, sometimes at 8. But this is mostly due to, daylight savings. When there's daylight savings, our meetings move an hour later. And I'm still trying to understand, but basically that's kind of my routine. I have enough breaks during the day, and my breaks don't always look like eating food or something. Sometimes I take a break I keep a puzzle book near me. So sometimes to just take a break, I go to my puzzle book, I do a Sudoku or a crossword or something. Or sometimes I'll even color, part of my mental health, self-care thing. Sometimes I'll even color, sometimes I'll go interact with the pets or any of that. Highs and lows are definitely there. Sometimes you get overwhelmed with the tasks. You realize that a lot of some things you won't, actually, you almost always never know half of these things. Like you spend your time Googling or something, but something that's always encouraged is to ask. Keep asking, keep asking. Even if you feel like you're being annoying, just ask. You never know. Until someone tells you, stop asking me, keep asking. And I doubt they'll tell you such a thing. So keep asking, keep asking. And then also sometimes when you hit those blocks, because sometimes it can get very draining and overwhelming. When I hit those blocks, I like to take a step back, go and, clear my head, go move to a different activity, move to something else, and just clear your head and come back and attack the problem later. Because that's the thing, we're always solving problems, yeah? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't have the solution, so you can just take a break and breathe. Expectations, some of the expectations would be just knowing that, well, there's a lot of collaboration for starters. You're always collaborating with people. So, it's good to get along well with people, learn to get along well with people, also learn to communicate effectively. When you're stuck, you need to be able to say you're stuck. You need to ask for help. You need to learn there's a lot of communication that happens. Be good in programming, take time to learn. We don't stop. We started learning in uni, it goes on, actually. It does not stop. You keep learning, especially because technology keeps growing. We keep learning, we keep learning, we keep learning. Yeah.
That's really great. You have really expounded and explained a lot. I like that you said, take breaks. It's important.
Yeah.
We're not machines. We need a break. So look at your mental wellness, spiritual wellness. You're a whole person. So thank you so much for that, Elinor. I'd really like to thank you for just being the first speaker and having such an amazing presentation. Thank you. Maybe in case you have any questions for Elinor, you can put it in the chat section. Then even at the end, we'll still cover more questions. So I know now it's the time for the next speaker, but thank you so much, Elinor. We do really appreciate.
Thank you as well.
Great. So we are now preparing for our second speaker. And as we do that, we've seen that there are hashtags for today. So Girls in ICT and Girls in ICT Day, and also Women in Tech. So I'll also ask the speakers if maybe they'd like to be tagged. Just put in your Twitter handles on the chat section. Then people, as they tweet, they can tag you. And our social media handles are also on the screen. Feel free to tag us. So please do tweet the session. We need to make this day known so that they can know today is International Girls in ICT Day. So thank you, Elinor. And now next up, we have our amazing speaker, Madam Joan Mbesya. She is the director at TechMindset Africa. She'll be explaining more about her company, what she does, and what it is to be a techpreneur. So thank you so much, Joan, for joining us. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you, ladies, women? I can see some men also in the crowd.
Yes.
Elinor, great. Thank you. Nice to meet all of you.
Yes. A special shout out to all the men who've joined this session. Thank you so much for being here. We do also appreciate. So I'd just like to begin with, tell us who you are and what you do, Joan.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. So my name is Joan Besia. I'm an author of a book called Technology Through a Woman's Eye. I'm a mother, and I'm also a founder and CEO of TechMindset Africa. I'm an expert on future technologies for businesses. I'm very passionate about artificial intelligence and its impact to African countries. So basically, allow me just to explain to you what artificial intelligence is for those possibly who might have seen it on the internet or don't know about it. But I know we are all tech people. We have familiarity into this concept. Artificial intelligence is basically a machine trained to learn what humans can do. It is trained to mimic what you and I are able to do automatically. And also it learns by itself by improving on time through mistakes and learning new concepts or new things. So for a machine to learn, it's always fed with data. So this is the space that TechMindset currently is working on. An example of the use of artificial intelligence, for example, for those who use Gmail, that's a very good use of artificial intelligence where the AI system is able to filter junk emails, promotional emails, and so on. For those who watch Netflix, I'm sure most of us, yes, I can see the smiles, how you spend your time. That's a very strong AI concept where it gives you recommendations based on your history view. So if you're a mother, you want to know what your child watches, please watch Netflix, watch their account. If you're a big sister and you have young brothers and sisters and you want to really take care of their context, look at what they watch. Netflix AI is accurate in that, where it recommends based on your history. We also have, and I believe Elinor would attest to this, companies like Microsoft are very big at AI, Google as well. And it's something, it's a revolution that is happening in all parts of the world. And I'm in this space because I want us to see an AI revolution in Africa, starting with Kenya. As a matter of fact, for the past 2-3 months, we have reached about 5 countries where we train people on what artificial intelligence is. You don't have to be a person in technology. You just have to have an ambition. You should have a vision. If you're a stay-at-home mom, or you are a student, or you're in a career, a profession, it cuts across every industry. How do you market using AI? How do you become a financial accounting and make it more efficient with artificial intelligence? So what I would say, how do we as ladies take advantage of this revolution of artificial intelligence? And
I really
basically that is, and I'm very, very passionate to educate women.
I really like that you brought about AI. So I'm sure people are wondering, so how do I study this course? Where do I study it so that I can become also, how do I join this field of artificial intelligence, basically?
Thank you for that. The first thing I would say is have the knowledge of artificial intelligence. You see, most of the things that we tend to do, and to my opinion, I'd say is a mistake. You hear about something and you believe that is where you'll get money. If you're doing what you're doing because you want to get money, that is the wrong approach. What I would say, understand the field. So in this case, I will talk about artificial intelligence. Understand what artificial intelligence is. Is it relevant to your career? Is it important? Once you do that, please come to TechMindset. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. As a matter of fact, if you want to understand the basics of artificial intelligence, to know if it's something that you want to incorporate, join us tomorrow from 6 p.m. My team is on the chat. They're going to give you details. We have AI challenge, pitching challenge competition. See how artificial intelligence is used in different parts of the industries, especially in Kenya. So we are an institution that will train you basically on artificial intelligence, and we will go further and challenge you to apply artificial intelligence in whatever that you do, either in your studies or in your career. So from TechMindset Africa, that is where we do what we do. And we hope eMobilis is going to join us in this journey because we're all headed there.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yes.
That's very enlightening and powerful. So maybe you can just tell us, what are some of the challenges that you face while running TechMindset, and how are you able to overcome these challenges?
I'll be honest with you. There are three. There are so many. I face many challenges, but I'll talk about 3 challenges that I face as a director of TechMindset. Time, resources, and market. What do I mean? I always feel like I have very limited time because number one, I have to study, I have to read through emails, I have to have meetings, and also we have to get online and all train, and also I have a family to take care of. So I always find myself at the receiving end of the stick. That is one of the challenges that I have, because the vision is to grow the company throughout Africa. But the question is, how do you do that and focus to grow the company at the same time? And also another thing would be, of course, resources. See, I'm a woman in technology who runs a business. And one of our principles is to operate the organization at very low debt. So to do that, of course, resources are a challenge. So what we do, we sit down with my team and find ways that we can minimize on costs, and how can we operate with minimum costs. And another thing is the market. Understanding the markets and trends in a new arena for Africa is quite challenging. With a little bit of insight, I innovate and control how I deal with these challenges, all said and done. For example, for the first thing I do to acknowledge my challenges, I understand that these are challenges happening for a reason. It's my brain that is telling me I need to do something about what I'm facing. So that's the first thing that I do. I acknowledge my challenges, and then I work with my team to find ways how we can handle businesses without having to spend while maintaining, of course, quality output. I would say working with an open-minded team is my secret sauce. And finally, as an AI company, we innovate with artificial intelligence. So we have found a way to work with the data of every person we come into contact with and get to use artificial intelligence models to tell us what the expectations from our students, our AI enthusiasts out there is. With enough data, this, I believe, is going to help us in time craft programs and also inform our target market who keep on coming for more, what the offering before they tell us. And that way, based on that, we're able to focus on our markets and know what it is that they want.
Wow. Okay, great to hear. Great to hear that a team is very important to just help you to be able to think through your goals and your objectives. But now with all these challenges that your business faces, would you be willing, let's say if Google decided to poach you today, would you really be willing to say, fine, you know what? This business has had a lot of challenges. Let me join Google. I mean, they're paying me 5 times what TechMindset would. Would this be something that you would be willing to do?
To be honest with you, I would not. Because the first thing is, why would I trust myself to run a bigger organization or to run with a bigger organization, yet I've not grown mine? I would stay in my company as an apprentice, as my own learning person, with a vision, a goal, and a very good support system, and then approach the same company. In this case, you've talked about Google. Approach Google for a partnership to scale. That is how I would look at my approach to bigger companies. I will innovate and I'll take control.
I like, that's a very good answer. I really like how you've thought about it. And just basically, why move on to another company where you can grow your own? Yeah, thank you for that. So maybe let us know, are there any programs that you have run for women in tech?
Yes, we have run a myriad of programs, but 3 stand out for us. One has been with eMobilis. My journey with eMobilis has been quite interesting.
Yeah.
We have a good team there that I've worked with before, and the time I got engaged with eMobilis, we were able to train girls at digital marketing and the impact of digital marketing in businesses. And secondly, there was also another one within eMobilis again. See how we work so well, where we train girls and women to innovate using graphic design and create a logo for the intersex community in conjunction with Kenyan National Human Rights Commission. And a third one is one we are currently running. We call it the Reinvent program for women, where we teach women in businesses, career women, professional women, women students. We teach them on artificial intelligence and its impact on life as a woman, be it woman's career, be it a girl's business or even a staying-home mother. We train them, how do you leverage on artificial intelligence to gain more income or to have an understanding and become an AI consultant. So we have great opportunities that we work around with women to be able to fulfill the agenda of sensitizing, empowering, and educating Africa. And again, I still emphasize on this. If you want to do something, innovate, take control, and create your destiny.
Thank you for that. I think maybe your team can put that Reinvent program, maybe a link on the chat section so that participants can also check it out. And maybe I'm sure after your very powerful introduction about, tech mindset, maybe are there opportunities, internship opportunities, or any job opportunities that maybe they can look out for?
Oh, okay. Yes. There's so many opportunities. And the one that I would say, we are an impact organization and we sponsor women in artificial intelligence. Currently, right now, we have a team of girls that we have sponsored, 20 of them through partnerships. And they're running three trainings. One of them is digital skills. The other one is software development. And the last one is artificial intelligence. So the question is, how will these girls incorporate all these skills to create an AI career future? So if you're interested to be sponsored or you're interested to work with us as a woman in technology and a woman who's empowered, yes, that's what I love. Please join us. My team is going to post our addresses there. We are looking forward to educating. We have a vision for the next 3 years to educate at least 4,000 women in artificial intelligence. If you believe this is an opportunity for you, please contact us. Let's see how we can work together so that we can make Africa a better future.
Wow, thank you for that. I think this is very useful information. First we had software engineering, now we're having artificial intelligence. So I'm very sure that our participants are benefiting from this. And so maybe I'd ask you to tell us, give us your advice or advise young girls who are starting out in the tech field.
All right, the first thing I would say, put God first in everything you do, and he will establish your plans. Whichever God you perceive to be your God, I'm sure there's a higher power that you look up to. Put God first, and he will establish your plans. That's my number one motto, and I tell everyone I come into contact with because it works for me. And also, I would challenge ladies in this forum, and it's good that you joined us because I'm sure this is going to have someone, even if it's one person, ask themselves this question to determine their destiny or to determine their purpose in this world. If you are selected to leave the world for good in 24 hours, and it's not a choice, by the way, you are supposed to leave the world and go away to another planet and leave your family, leave your friends, leave, your children, if you're a mother or a father. In those 24 hours, what would you wish you would have done? What legacy would you wish you would have left? Ponder that question. I will therefore advise young girls starting, have a learner's mindset. To do that, please take control of your destiny. Innovate, create systems that leave a legacy for the generations and generations to come. Whatever you do, just start.
Wow. Thank you so much, Joanne. That was powerful. That was great. And I'm sure the participants have a lot to ponder and just think about. I can already see on the chat section that your team has been able to share the links. Ida had asked how to join the AI training and she's been responded to. So I think I don't even have much, as in that was powerful, that was great. Thank you for introducing us to artificial intelligence and how we could join with also with TechMindset Africa. So that's great. Maybe does anyone have a pressing question for Joanne as she's here so that she can answer you? Anyone? Okay. Thank you very much, Joan. I'm sure at the very end, maybe some few questions will have popped up. But thank you so much, Joan, for your powerful introduction, for your presentation on tech mindset and artificial intelligence. We are grateful.
Thank you, appreciated.
Great. So kindly remember to tweet. They're also asking for your, but they have put in the chat section, TechMindset Africa social media handles. So as you're tweeting, you can also tweet them. Ensure you put them on the Twitter. Yeah, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, they have put that all there. So thank you so much. Also, Lilian is saying thank you. That was a powerful message. And I do agree that was very powerful. So right now, we're going into our motivational video, then just a slight break, then we'll be back by 10:30. So continue tweeting about the session, continue just letting people know that today is International Girls in ICT Day. We want to thank you for all the men who have also joined this session. Thank you very much. I pray that these discussions that we are having, it's beneficial to all. What Elinor and Joan have just shared, I feel like it was very beneficial. The links are in the chat section in case you'd like to find out about more opportunities. I've seen Elena has already posted in the chat section about the Leap Apprenticeship, and the many other things that they offer at the Student Ambassador that they offer at Microsoft. So thank you so much, Elena, for that. Now we'll just have our video, then a slight break. As we continue, kindly continue tweeting. So just a minute as I share the video. So this video, just to mention, it's a video by women in tech at Disney. So just to be able to understand, you know, what are people doing out there? How is tech really impacting the community and the globe at large? So enjoy the video.
At the Walt Disney Company, I think technology is really exciting because we're in the business of creating magic. So one of our goals is to hide the technology. We want people to be saying, how did they do that?
People just think, oh, that's cool. That's something new. That's something that I haven't seen before, but they don't realize that technology is what's fueling that.
There's so much power in technology. It doesn't matter what it is that you think of, there's a way that technology can help.
Disney has a long legacy of innovation, and that's no different today.
The culture at Disney is we have to be pushing the boundary so that it's not just something else that people have experienced before. Our goal is always thinking about the guest. It's not just metrics or what's going to be the easiest flow to get through one thing to another. It's thinking about what's going to make them smile, what's going to make them want to come back.
When you have people that have different life experiences, you get a completely different way of looking at problems. That's where the creativity and the technology come together.
Disney looks for people who are curious and always challenge the status quo.
Everyone that I work with is at the top of their game. We're all excited about what we do. We're all very good at what we do, and we enjoy the atmosphere of collaboration to solve the problems that we have.
It's only until we're able to engage people as either potential employees or partners that they're able to get behind the curtain and really see the incredible technology that's making those experiences come to life.
Technology is in the DNA of this company, and the company is filled with technology enthusiasts.
The energy that you get with your team working together, and then when you show it to anyone, that twinkle in their eye, and sometimes they'll say, that is what we live for.
There's an opportunity to contribute what your skill sets are and what really gets you excited. knowing that something that I'd worked on that was reaching across the globe, that's definitely the most exciting thing.
When you look at a company like Disney, it's a lasting legacy, and the technology that we bring lasts for beyond your lifetime.
The things that I most take pride in at Disney is continuing to reinforce and build that spirit of collaboration.
When you combine technology with great stories and creativity, it has the capacity to bring magic to millions of people.
The unlimited possibilities, what we can create with technology. It's an exciting place to be.
Yeah, so there we had a short video from women in tech in Disney. I mean, who wouldn't want to work at Disney, honestly? So I just leave you for a few minutes now. We can have a social media break. We'll be back at 10:30. So 10:30, we'll have Margaret Nacheno go up. Then we'll have Dephence Mrunde. Margaret is a data scientist and a software engineer. Then we'll also have Dephence Mrunde, who's an program assistant manager for the Ajira program. And it's an exciting session. So far, so good. Elinor and Joan have kickstarted the webinar at such a high note. So please do stay tuned in, just a 10-minute break to refuel, then we'll be back. For the time being, continue tweeting about the session, let people know that it's International Girls in ICT Day, and a very big shout out to all the men who are joining us today. Thank you very much and see you at 10:30. What is not touch up? Makeup team. Blush my knees, my arm. Hello, hi, back. Welcome back. So we had the first session with Jedidah, our alumni, Elinor from Microsoft, and Joanne from TechMindset Africa. And right now, we'd now like to resume with the second half of this webinar, where we'll be having Margaret Nacheno, a software engineer and a data scientist, then Dephence Mrunde, and then last but not least, we'll have also our alumni, Maria Gitau, just closing up our panel session. So I'm glad to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said in the very beginning, this is going to be a very interactive webinar. So please feel free to drop your questions on the chat box. Tweet about the session. We already have the social media handles for Joanne, the TechMindset Africa, and for eMobilis. I think also Elinor must have shared some. And then as we continue, we'll also get handles from Meg and also Dephence. So I'd now like just to begin with introducing Margaret Nacheno. She is a software engineer and a data scientist, and she's done a lot, especially in this tech journey. So I'd just like her to introduce herself. Hi, Meg.
Hello, how are you?
Yes, fine, thank you. Glad to have you here on this webinar.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Great. So kindly just introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I hope you can hear me.
Yes,
well. Yes. So my name is Meg. My full name is Margaret Nacheno. I'm a software developer and data scientist. I'm very enthusiastic about academic, especially impactful academic. So I'm a trainer also at eMobilis. I teach some programs in eMobilis, including the data science program at eMobilis. And yeah, and I'm a researcher as well. So those are the things that I do.
Great. So kindly just tell us your tech journey, like which courses did you pursue and why exactly did you decide to pursue these courses in tech?
Okay, so I don't know. Well, my tech journey began in, I say 2013, because personally, I did not take computer science, computer studies in high school. So when I finished my high school degree, then I decided to join a campus almost immediately. So I was wondering what I could do. My parents were also there trying to suggest maybe some programs I could take. So I decided to, join in the computer science field. I took my first degree in computer science before I actually joined the other degree that I was doing, my second degree in BSc mathematics, which I did concurrently. So starting when I joined computer science, I felt it was a bit difficult at that time because I didn't know anything about, coding and all that. And this was just bombarded into me. So it was challenging at the beginning, but with time, my interest really grew, my knowledge base grew a bit wide, and I was very appreciative of the fact that I entered into the tech field.
Great to hear that, and that you also did 2 degrees concurrently. That's really quite amazing. So I know you've worked in different companies. So just kindly just tell us, what challenges have you experienced, especially as a lady in tech, and how were you able to overcome these challenges?
Okay, so honestly, I feel that I don't like to put put it as ladies that we face more challenges than the men do. The challenges are in equal measure, but the problem is how do they take you as a lady when you face these challenges, or how do you tackle these challenges differently from the way the guys, tackle the challenges. So for me, it has been believing that I can do it. So many times I've gotten into, an interview room, and they ask you how can you be able to do it? You pass the technical stage, so they it becomes a bit difficult to pick you as a lady to join a team of men, because for me, I think most of the time that I have worked, especially in companies that are actually producing products, I'm always either the only lady actually for the companies that I've worked with. So integrating with the guys, and they try to give you, softer tasks so that you do not become so stressed. When everyone is sleeping at the office, they, give you a free. So it's a bit, they feel that you're a bit softer than them, but I feel that we are equally capable of doing everything. So the tech space is a space where anybody can fit, whether a guy or a lady. The challenges we face are equal, but we should also be allowed, to have the same they should have in mind that we have the same capabilities as the guys, so that they do not feel you like, oh, Meg is a bit softer, so she should handle the softer tasks. We are all equal, and we should be given equal opportunity in terms of tasks, in terms of also remuneration, because at some point you get into a tech space and the guys are paid better than you, yet you're doing the same work and you ask why. There is no response for that. So those are some of the challenges you might face. And you as a lady, you should be able to stand for yourself with the value that you're going to give in that company. Do equal tasks that give you more challenge, they broaden your skills, and also always know how to speak for yourself as a lady, especially when you're in a crowd of guys.
I really like what you said, especially on remuneration. Like sometimes, yes, you'll find that the male gender are being paid more, and is it that we don't know how to negotiate salaries as women, or maybe we've not undergone, maybe if there was a course or a mentorship program or something extra to help us say, okay, I'm bringing X amount of skills, so I feel like, what would you comment about that? What would you say about that, especially on negotiation as women?
Yes, I feel that we are always a bit softer, and sometimes we would, ladies are easily convinced. That is what it said. We are easily convinced to take up something, but always do your research even before, giving that quote or taking that particular responsibility. Just do your research and know what you're going to offer, because life is about negotiations. Everything is about negotiations. So negotiation should be a skill for both ladies and gentlemen. But you as a lady, do your research, know maybe how much that people are paid for that particular job, and then also know the value that you have. Have value in what you give. Then once you have the value in what you give, you will not face any challenges, or you will not feel that, oh, I'm doing the same work and being underpaid, because that is what you negotiated for. So do your research well and have a value for yourself. Say, me as Meg, my value is this, and if it's not this, then I think we cannot, come into an agreement.
Okay. I really like that, especially on, do your research. Don't base it because this other person is getting this, I should also get this. No, do your research and understand your value. That's very important. And you've mentioned about data science, and I'm sure that people are wondering, okay, so, how do I become a data scientist? Are there courses? Where do I get these courses? What is data science? So just kindly expound more on that.
So what I think Joan had mentioned a bit about artificial intelligence. So data science, we can say, is a subfield of artificial intelligence, and all these are based under the cap of machine learning. So what machine learning is basically is we want to train a machine to be able to behave the way a human does. So some of the tasks that human beings do, it can assist you, and it can be able to make decisions. For example, you can be able to tell Siri on your iPhone that please call so and so. So those are some of the things that data science do. But then data science is based on data. That is the data that we gather, because we realized over time that we generate so much data in the world that if this data is just stored and is not useful, then it doesn't make any sense to have so much data, and we cannot, come up with solutions from that data. So now data science is a field that we analyze data. After analyzing the data, we use artificial intelligence, or rather machine learning models, to come up with solutions that can solve the world. So data science, we can put it in 4 parts. So we have the data analysis part. So we have data analysis, where now the data that you have gathered, you get more information about it. We have the data preparation part. So as much as data is gathered, you are able to clean the data and have it in a way that it can be easily analyzed. So with that, start with data preparation, data analysis. And then we have visualization. So visualization of data is where you take this data and you make it understandable to someone who does not understand the science behind it. So you can come up and say, this trend is going up, it's going to rain tomorrow. So you visualize that on a graph. So we have the visualization part. And the last part is machine learning, which is now the biggest chunk. That's why we call it the science behind data. So machine learning is now where you now try and understand how you can employ AI models to come and make solutions out of this data. So we have prediction analysis, we have recommender systems, we have so many things that you can do with machine learning. So that is the data science field. It's broken up into those 4 parts. You can choose to do the whole segment of data science. You can also choose to specialize in either analysis. You can choose to specialize in visualization of data. You can choose to specialize in machine learning. But the whole concept of the 4 parts is the science. So that is data science. So honestly, since Google said that you don't require any degree to become anything, you can learn this anywhere. You can take short programs. I'm sure right now there are many technical institutions that give the program. At eMobilis, we teach data science. There are also online courses you can take to also learn the program. You can go through the self-taught journey. And then the good thing is most of the programs right now that we are doing, especially in colleges and universities, some of the colleges have adjusted to be able to incorporate some of these things in data science in the program. So it's something very good to learn. But then a good background would be mathematics. So a good background in mathematics to be able to understand the models you're working with makes it easier for you to, not just know how to code them, but have a good understanding of the same. So you can, if you've done computer science, you've done mathematics, they are also very good basis of, jumpstarting you into the program. But there is no limitation to anyone who has done any program. We have seen, I've worked with data scientists who are geographers. I've worked with data scientists who just did, business administration. I've also taught a medical student who wanted to learn data science. I've taught someone in the hotel industry who wanted to learn data science, and they've become good at this. So it's not limited to any program, but as long as you have the interest, you can take the parts of either self-study, instructed study, the way we do it in eMobilis, or you can go online and, take a journey to, the field of data science. You'll find resources. But for a start, I would recommend you take an instructed program like the one we have in eMobilis. At least you will have a guideline on, how to begin from somebody who doesn't understand. If you want to learn a programming language, they'll tell you there is Python, there is R. So which one do you want? We study Python, then advance pole to be able to have a good understanding of the same.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Meg. If the chat section is blowing up, people are very interested and people want to learn data science. I think you've covered the question on should they have knowledge on programming, e.g. the languages to become a data scientist. I think you've also mentioned that. So I can see people are very, very interested, and that's great to hear. It means that you have done a great job in explaining what data science is, the parts, and actually that's quite good. So maybe now for those who are interested, what would be your advice to young girls trying to venture into tech? What are your key pointers?
So I just remembered when I was starting off, nobody told me what to do. And we are getting better every day. So what I just say, start, open your computer, look, what do you need? You need to learn, for example, in data science, I'd give you the most basics. You need to learn maybe Python programming, you need to learn R programming, or you need to learn a tool. So choose a tool that you want to learn. You can just start by learning Python. You can learn from anywhere. You can come, we instruct you how to do it, or you can come and you can go online and search for material to learn Python. Then you go to the next step. The next step is data preparation. You look at how to prepare data. There is so much data online. Even right now in Kenya, we have the online data portal that you can use to, analyze local data, which is very, very good. County data, how resources are used, and coming up with some of these models usually very good, because you might find, like in our field in Kenya, we have not explored a lot of analyses, especially in local data. Even those who we are with in postgraduate, most people are in graduate school, most people just focus on analyzing international data from World Health Organization. So the best place will be to start analyzing the local data that you have. If you're in your school, you want to know what is the response of students to, online learning. Put out a questionnaire, ask people to come up with a simple machine learning model. These things are usually very easy. Start slowly, just start. So the advice I'd give anyone who wants to join into the field, start. Secondly, we are not so many of us in the field. You find that even if you're working somewhere, people actually come in to consult, with you. It becomes very, very important to, people want to work with you even if you're not working with them, just to give you an idea. Then the third part is have the necessary tools. The necessary tools is your computer. That's all you need to be a data scientist, and how to get there, how to get the data. So if you want to start, just start. If you want instructed learning, which for me has worked for me for most of the times that I've learned, I've always picked instructed learning because it makes you focus and it gives you a target. So instructed learning is usually good because it makes work easier for you, and you get to learn from someone who has experience. So you can join us at eMobilis also, take up the data science program. I'm sure you'll be amazed at what we can be able to do. We've done amazing projects with some of the students. We've had someone come up with a model that can predict if a person can get pneumonia or not. There's a current student that I'm working with who is developing a COVID-19 intelligent chatbot that can be able to communicate. So it's an amazing, amazing field that you can just join us, learn, then just start. There are so many resources. If you need a few places where you can get data, I'll just post them on the chat section. I'll post the link to Open Data. I'll post a link to Kaggle, which is an amazing site where you can meet. It's more of a social media for data scientists. It's called kaggle.com. You can go and see amazing projects people have done, and they always have challenges almost every single month, where they share data from big organizations, small organizations, different countries. You can pick that data, analyze, create a portfolio. It's more of GitHub, but it's for people who are inclined in the data science field. So that's where you can go get more data. We have portals such as UCI. I'll post all of them on the chat section once I'm done. We have a portal called UCI repository. It has so much data there. You can be able to also learn from that. So it's an amazing field. We have a big community there. You can learn from each other, and I can advise anyone who wants to join, there is room for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Meg. You've shared a lot of wisdom, and I'm sure people are very much interested in data science as well. I like how we started the session on programming, software engineering, went down to artificial intelligence. We're now in data science, and people are getting to learn more. So thank you so much, Meg. Maybe do you have any pressing question for Meg? Just one question for Meg before we move on to the next speaker. Any question you would like to ask Meg? Okay, there's none for now, but maybe at the very end we'll have one. But we'd like to thank you so much, Meg, for joining us and just sharing a lot of wisdom and nuggets and things that are very useful, especially in the data science field. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me as well.
Okay. Sawa. So we'd like to move on to the next speaker as well. Our next speaker is Dephence. Her name is Dephence Mrunde. She is the program assistant manager for the Ajira program. And she'll be sharing more on what she does, the opportunities in Ajira, and the challenges and how she was able to overcome her challenges. So I can see on the comment section already, there are some few questions, but we'll definitely get to them. In case they are directed to any specific speaker, they can also be answered as well. Do not try. So now I'd like to introduce Dephence Mrunde, who is on our call today, to just, kindly introduce herself, tell us who she is, and what she does. Hi, Dephence.
Hi, thank you so much, Claire. I'm glad to be here. My name is Dephence Mrunde, as you've heard. I work for Ajira Digital Program, and I'm an assistant program manager. And what exactly I focus on is the training bit of the program. And I'll go ahead and talk about the Ajira Digital Program. So the Ajira Digital Program is a Kenyan government initiative, launched and being implemented by the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. And it was started in 2016. This was to curb the youth unemployment in Kenya. And I think when they were starting, it's all about online work. And what happens is we train youths, the Kenyan youths, to access job opportunities online. And we do this through our 2-day training. We have a 2-day training, five-day physical training. And the program focuses on there's different pillars which we are working on. And one is institutionalizing of Ajira clubs. This is in the universities and TVETs, and we have operationalizing of Ajira innovation hubs, or Ajira Youth Empowerment Centers, which are in every county in the constituency. And yes, that's all about the Ajira Digital Program. I think we'll be able to talk more about it as I get to talk more about my journey in tech.
Great. So just in line with that, what inspired you to take this line? It's a career in tech at the end of the day, and how you actually became a program assistant manager.
So I say, I'd like to say that most of the time we are inspired by so many things. For me, it was my dad. My was in tech industry, and that's when tech was catching up, mobile phones were coming on. So he traveled a lot and came with gadgets like the mobile phone, and that really made me interested. I really wanted to travel because of tech. I wanted to have the latest gadget because of tech. So I decided, okay, let me go ahead and take this take this path, career path. And I remember I started by joining University of Nairobi, where I did computer science. And I think there is, after joining computer, so the bit of traveling, I realized when I joined computer science, I realized that it's not just about traveling and the gadget. Tech is big, it's huge, it's a very broad topic and a broad area. And when I joined, I got interested now in other bits of technology, which was programming and networking. And I found it to be fun, and I was so happy about the different aspects of technology. And this made me now, I love this technology. I can't keep to it. I'm gonna, run with it. And it was fun. It was fun doing the computer science. It was fun. Really what motivated. And again, also internship. In my second year, I got an opportunity to do an internship with Orange. And with Orange, I was able to meet international, my mentor, or rather my supervisor, was from France. At that time, I think France was well known when it comes to technology. And he really motivated me to even with this career of tech, to take it up. And because when we were working with him, he'd give me tasks and roles that required me to go deeper into studying more about the network architecture and all that about the telecommunication architecture. So that really also motivated me and encouraged me to keep on studying and take on this career path.
Thank you for that, Dephence. It's great to hear about that. So maybe you've mentioned about Ajira, and I'm sure people are wondering, I'm also wondering, so are there any job or internship opportunities at Ajira? And if there are, how can one apply for them?
So I'd like to say that Ajira Digital Program has so many opportunities, and the first step would be for one to go to the Ajira Digital Portal, where you can register or create an account on the Ajira Digital Portal. I've shared the link. And from there, you'll be able to see that not only do we have internships, but we have a 2-day training, which is free. A 2-day training, which is free, where you get to be trained on 5 online job categories. And that's data management, digital marketing, virtual assistant, content writing, and I think there's one which are transcription. So these are the 5 categories which online, they're on demand when it comes to job and work opportunities. And we train on these 5 categories. You can select one to be trained on. And every day, even right now, we have a training going on. Every day we have trainings going on. So the training, like I've said, goes for 2 days. That's Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. And that's how it is. After that, there is also a free mentorship program, which goes for 1 month. And in this mentorship program, you get to interact with experienced online workers who you can, who are handholding you through your online work journey. And they get to introduce you to the different online platforms that are there, which you can take advantage of as a Kenyan youth or as an online worker who's starting off. Another opportunity we have is Ajira Digital has so many partners on board. And so we're working with Kenya Private Alliance, KEPSA, who are actually on the job opportunities part. They're working on the demand side of the project. And this is where they provide job opportunities. So through the Ajira Digital Portal, you'll be able to receive job opportunities that are there for you to work on with your already skills, the skills that you already have. So there are job opportunities on the portal where you can get. And at eMobilis or Ajira Digital Program, we also take interns. Every 3 months, we take interns to come and practice the skills that they have and also get to learn how to run programs, how to run projects, how to do data management, how to do digital marketing, and the 5 categories that I've mentioned. So you have to go through the training, the two-day training, which I've said is free. And then after that, like we said, there's job linkages, where we are working with KEPSA, and you get to be linked to job opportunities, both local and international. And as you can see, the trend right now is people are working from home. That means online jobs are there. We have so many online opportunities out there, which you can take advantage of.
Great. So do the participants get any certificate?
Yes, there is a certificate, a digital certificate. So for any course you do, you'll be receiving your certificate on the portal. On the portal, there's a place where there's a tab for certificates where you can go and see all the badges, collect your badges and your certificates. And apart from that, the ministry or the Ajira digital program has also partnered with so many other programs like Coursera, where we sponsor a few people to take on Coursera courses on the Coursera website. I can see someone here saying, could you have the government being gracious to reopen the courses, the Coursera sponsorship? So we are working on it. It's something that will come. So there's so many opportunities. Apart even from Coursera, there's AWS, which is coming through Azubi, where you get to be trained on AWS server, online server, yeah, cloud servers, yeah. So that's what we are doing right now.
That's great to hear. I'm really happy to hear all these opportunities, and it's free. It's a free training, and you're able to get mentorship, and from there, the skills you use, you can be able to earn good money. So that's very good to hear. So maybe I'd just like to ask, do you get trained on how to use applications such as Upwork, Fiverr, and the legit ones? How do you know which one is legitimate and which one is a fake site? How do we get to know that?
Yes, so during the training, these are things trainees are taken through. You're taken through how to create an online work account. And one of them is Upwork. And we have others like in a QA world. You're taken through how to link your account to your PayPal, which is the payment mode, or even Mbesya. That's how you're going to be receiving your payments once you start working. You're trained how to identify legit online work platforms, how to identify a good online work employer or a legit online work employer. So that's what we take you through. So you get to learn a lot. At the end of the training, you will have opened an account, an online work account. You will have started bidding, because you're also trained how to bid online, how to bid for jobs online. You will have some people start earning as soon as day one. Day one in the afternoon, people start earning. People start earning through a platform known as QA World, which is for transcribers. It's much easier for them to earn, because there you're required to do tests, which are very easy tests. And we train you how to go through to do the tests. Then after that, we have, at the end, again, in digital marketing, you're trained how to create your own paid YouTube channels, paid Facebook accounts, business accounts, and also paid WhatsApp accounts, how to create portfolios on your WhatsApp and all that. So we take you through the step-by-step training on how to create accounts on the different online work platforms that are there. This is just for the preparation for you to start working online. And at the end of the 1 month mentorship, most people have earned. You'll hear people say they've earned $200, they've earned $100. We've had people who've got contract worth $6,000 and they get to and someone is a newbie, but only that they have an already earned skill, so they start earning from that.
Okay, that's really good to hear. And you do all this at the comfort of your home with your machine and good internet, and you're able to earn money. So yeah, thank you so much for that. I think that's very important and useful to understand. So maybe just let us know some of the challenges that you have experienced over the years in the different companies you've worked for, and how you were able to overcome these challenges.
So I'd like to say for women, sometimes you can be underrated. So you can tell someone, I guess I did computer science, I know how to do this and that, but they underrate you. And what you need to do is volunteer or take the initiative, take a step and say, let me do it. Even if it's for free, even if it's not your task, even if it's not your role, just go ahead and take that initiative and say, I'll do it. Do them and shock them. That's what I say. Do it and shock them. They might underrate you, but after you're done with the task, they'll look at it and say, okay, we are raising our hands, you've done a good job. So what I really advise people is these challenges are there, where as women, they'll say, or if you're a woman in tech, they will, and there's another gentleman who has the same skills, the same qualification. There's always that thing of being underrated and giving you other tasks. Like I say, when I was starting in telecommunication, I remember I'd be told, we were dealing with servers, but I'd be told, no, you'll just be monitoring. And one day I said, no, I also want to go and fix the servers, I want to go there inside and look and see what's going on. And that's how you're supposed to be, always push yourself to do things and take the initiatives and stand up and do them. Go ahead and do them. Don't let anyone to tell you to do or to call you to do something. Jitume. In other words, jitume. Kwa Kiswahili tunaambiwa jitu, ujitume. So when no one sends you, send yourself. Because you know your capabilities and you know what you can do. So show them you can do it. And after that, you can go ahead and ask for your compensation and say, I did it and I can do it better. So I am to be compensated for that. Yes.
Great. I really like that. So maybe you can now share your advice to girls who want to start up in tech, but are facing some challenges. What would be your advice?
So my advice, number one, start with whatever you have. Start with whatever is there, whatever is surrounding you, start with it. And I'll say in today's world, no one has an excuse of saying that they don't have this and that. You don't have to go to the library. You have your computer, you have your phone, Google. Yeah, Google for these free courses. There are free courses. There's Udemy, there's now Ajira. There's all these courses which are offering free opportunities for you to learn and grow your skills. So start with whatever that is there and slowly. Number two, always have a goal. Write down what exactly is your goal of the day. So for example, if today you want to become a data scientist, you want to become maybe a front-end developer or back-end developer. Write down at the end of each and every day, what should you have achieved? Goal is very important. Having precision and goal is very important because it gives you a clear pathway of where you're going. If you don't have a goal, then you'll find yourself doing so many things which are a bit confusing. So don't confuse yourself. Start by saying, this is what I want at the end of the day. And now start Googling. There are resources out there. Google, do your research, find out as many information as possible. There are free opportunities out there. Number say, jitume, take initiative. Don't let someone else come and tell you, why don't you try this? Why don't you? You go ahead, find information for yourself. Find out, how do I move from step A to step B? How do I do this and that? And if someone else has done it well, ask. Always, another thing, always ask questions. Could you do my paid involved? Ask questions. Like you can go ahead and ask, so Meg, how did you find yourself in that situation? How did you find yourself? How are you able to do both 2 degrees at the same time? Ask these questions. Ask successful people how they were able to achieve whatever they have achieved. Number 2, whatever you do, do it with excellence. You don't do things half-baked. If you've decided to study, if you've decided to do data science, if you've decided to do machine learning, make sure you complete it. Some of us are very impatient, and when you start something, even before it matures, you've left that thing and you move to the next thing, which is interesting. So please take time and finish that which you have started, and do it with excellence. If you do that, it will never go unnoticed. You will always, and now this is where now you've sharpened your skills. You have skills that are on demand, and people will come looking for you. So that's it from me.
Thank you so much, Dephence. I think today we've had such a great lineup of speakers that everyone has a PowerPoint and has a very powerful point, has a very powerful way of putting things. So thank you so much, Dephence. Maybe if anyone has a pressing question for her, we can just have one question before we move on to the next. Does anyone have a question for Dephence? Maybe concerning the Ajira program, anything? Okay. For now, there are none, but thank you so much, Dephence. Thank you for your nuggets of wisdom. We do appreciate your time and just being part of this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire.
Okay. So I am really grateful to all the speakers. I feel like today we really learned a lot from when we began with Jedidah, our alumni. We went on to Elinor, who spoke about software engineering. We went ahead to learn about artificial intelligence from Joan. We went on ahead to learn more about data science from Meg. And now Dephence has spoken about the program, the Ajira program. So thank you all to all our speakers. Maybe we can have just a little bit of icebreaker before we move on to the next speaker, who is Maria Gitau, our alumni. So I just like our participants. Let's just go to the comment section. I want you to tell us one of your greatest fear. It could be, okay, wait. Just tell us one of your greatest fear and then something else that you're really happy you have accomplished in life. So for my example, I'd say, okay, maybe my greatest fear was speaking publicly, doing public speaking. And one thing I'm really happy to have done is to be able to speak in events, these online webinars and other small events organized. So for me, maybe in the past 2 years, if you tell me I'd speak in front of an audience, I'd be like, that would never be me. But now I'm glad, though this is online, at least I'm able to speak to people and not shiver or say, oh my God, I can't speak. Let someone else do that because someone else is better. So yeah, just share in the comment section, what is one of your greatest fear? It could even be snakes. Just tell us one of your greatest fear and something else that you're really happy that you've accomplished in life. So we're waiting for that so that now we can move on to the next speaker. I can see your responses. Thank you for keeping them coming. So I can see, who is this? Fresha said her greatest fear was height and greatest accomplishment is being a mom. That's great. Thank you so much for that. And Sandra, you have the fear of missing out. Don't we all? Thank you for that, Sandra. We have Lillian, still can't man up to swimming. Maybe start at the baby pool, moving on to the shallow end, then you will go to the deep end. You know, progress is key. And then you have Maria saying her greatest fear is spiders and snakes crawling up to her. And then Diana, her greatest fear is dying poor, and greatest accomplishment is doing anything to put food on the table. But I pray the struggles end. Amen. We truly do pray that. So thank you so much for keeping the conversation going. As you can see, there's a poster up. I'll have someone just joining the session to explain more about the offer that is going on at eMobilis in just a few minutes. But maybe for now, thank you for engaging with us. Continue engaging with us. For now, I can introduce our last and final speaker of the day, Maria Gitau, who is one of our alumni. She'll be explaining more on her journey, what she's done, and what she's currently doing. So I'd like to invite Maria. Welcome very much, Maria. I know you want to share your screen, so let me just stop my screen share for now.
Thank you. I also noticed the other speakers didn't have presentations, so I don't know if you want to.
No, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. You can have your own presentation. It's fine. Yes.
Okay. I'll also give a disclaimer. Sometimes I tend to talk and talk and talk. So when my time is up, just feel free to let me know.
Okay, great. Okay, no problem. Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, give me 1 second. You can see my screen, yes?
Yes, I can. Yes. Okay. Welcome.
Right. Thank you. Oh, we've started at the end. So hi everyone, happy International Girls in ICT Day. My name is Maria Gitau and I am on my way to 3rd year at Strathmore University. I'm studying computer science and I do a few other things on the side, and I'm very honored to have been asked to speak here. So another disclaimer, I will try and make my story and my talk as relatable to everyone who's attended as possible. I do not have an established career yet, so this is just based on my few years of life, especially now geared towards tech, how it's been and what I've learned and what I wish someone had told me earlier on that I didn't have to learn, that hopefully you can take something from. So yeah. Yeah, I will give you a brief intro into my journey into tech, how I settled on tech, because that's also a very long story, but I'll keep it brief. A radical shift I feel I experienced when I finally settled into feeling like this was where I belonged. And then a few nuggets of wisdom on what I feel like you guys can take home. And then in case you have any questions, feel free to ask. So yes, I never thought I would do tech, if I'm being very honest. I was like a lot of Kenyans who said I wanted to be a doctor. In fact, I wanted to be a pediatric oncologist, to be precise. And then I experienced biology in Form 3 and was like, maybe that's not for me. But regardless of the case, one of the things I'm very glad I did was I volunteered first at Aga Khan Hospital. So I went to the pediatric ward one of my holidays and I just worked under one of the doctors there. And it gave me insights into what being a pediatrician was actually like. And then in Form 3, I volunteered at the Association for the Physically Disabled in Kenya. Gave me an insight to what they do in their medical field. And so I guess that's one of the things I would advise you to do, especially for those who are really starting out. If you can volunteer, before you actually choose the career, you might find something was not as you thought it would be. So yeah, and so once I was out of high school, I did a diploma in business and IT at Strathmore University. Again, I wanted to see, do I want to do business maybe? Do I want to go to international relations? Do I want to go into computer science? So doing the diploma gave me an overview of how being in computer science would be like. And I preferred my computer science related courses to my business related courses. And then after the year of the diploma, I still was not very settled. At some point, I also wanted to do law. So I decided to take a gap year. And so during my gap year is how I came to eMobilis. I think by then I'd also gone through a lot of different experimenting, trying things online. And I was like, okay, I think I want to do computer science. Let me do this short certificate program and see how I enjoy it. And I really enjoyed it. One of the things I loved the most was we got to do projects. I got to build like websites and started working on Android apps. And in fact, even if you see my phone today, I kept all the first calculator I ever made. The first, it was like a food ordering Android app I ever made. I kept them all on my phone because I was so excited. So then I started being drawn especially to projects, just creating projects. And I think that's one of the things that computer science gives you. It's the tools in your hands, literally, to see a problem or just see something you want to do, like create Uber Eats, and it's in your hands to do so. So I really loved that. And then fast forward from eMobilis, I decided to continue at Strathmore University to now get my degree, and that is where I currently am at. And so during my gap year, I'll just share a few things I did that I think also helped me settle on computer science again. And one of those things was, first, I got to work with UNICEF Kenya on a project to come up with basically our own community engagement project, which I think I'll talk about in the end. And it got me insights on what is the process of, I don't know how many of you have heard of design thinking, but how do people come up with ideas and build them from an idea to an actual tangible product that's out in the world. I got to get my first job and quit my first job, move out of Nairobi for the first time and come back. I got to do a certificate program and come back, to travel a bit and come back. And I think that's one of the things I really just advocate for everyone who can. It's, if you're in the position to try out a lot of different things, because eventually then your heart will settle on something. Because sometimes I feel at 18 years old, you don't know what you want to do. And I don't think our parents really like hearing that. Whether I don't know what course I want to do, whether I even want to go to university. So one of the things you can do that I really recommend is try different things. And we're so young, like, so just put yourself out there, do short courses, do them online now that we have so many online resources at our disposal, and just try different things. And that way you can slowly get to find your footing in this world. Yeah. And so I think the silver lining of the COVID-19 lockdown was all of us got to look inside, and figure out a lot of things about ourselves. For some of us who now, when schools were closed, you sit at home and you're like, okay, what do I want in my life? What do I want my future to look like? All of that. And I think those are very important questions to ask yourself. And with computer science, so I'm going to really focus on computer science because that's what I'm in. But I think it sort of applies to a lot of other different areas in tech. But because everything became online, our schools became online, where I am now, they even do virtual hospital visits with your doctors. Like, a lot of things had to shift to online, that it became, it's like a computer, it's like an innovator's dream now to be in tech and to be in this world right now is such a good thing, because opportunities are literally everywhere. Every single business you can think of needs tech to be surviving. Yeah, so many people now need to shift their operations from being manual to people can order online or all of that, and they need people in tech to get them to that place. And so also now starting to recognize that there's so many opportunities for people in tech, because COVID has forced us to be home. And so tech is what we can use to connect us. That I hope also for those of you who are going into tech or are already in tech can recognize that this is really your time to shine, because yeah, everything is there for you. Another very good thing that I discovered during COVID was now, forums that were previously closed off to the rest of us were now open. Yeah. So last year I got to attend a webinar with NASA astronauts. Yes, astronauts. And they were telling us about how they use the toilet. We talked about how astronauts from NASA have really polluted the moon. I don't know if some of you are aware of that, because they actually threw out their waste over there. But we actually got to talk to people who previously were out of reach for some of us, like Africans were not talking to people in NASA. And I think also that presented an opportunity where all of us were on an equal playing field. We could now access things previously that weren't able to be accessed to us. And I feel is an opportunity I wish people would still be taking more advantage of, especially girls in tech. And I'm also going to focus my talk on African girls in tech, because another thing I personally noticed is when I attend these forums, I'm looking for girls who, look like me. We are from Kenya, we are from at least even Uganda, and you're only seeing Asians and Americans and British girls. And it's no, girls in tech, African girls are in tech as well. And we should also be occupying these spaces because there's space for us. But I'll get to that in a few. So yes, I think there was a silver lining to the COVID-19 lockdown, especially for those of us in Africa, because there were opportunities now availed to us. Of course, we still have the challenge of not everyone has access to computers and internet and all of that. But for those of us who do, I think it's also important that we also take advantage of the situation. Yeah. So how many of you know the game that came? I think it became very popular during COVID time. So if someone can type in the chat, just so I know I'm not talking to myself, who knows the name of this game? Anyone? And yes, thank you, Elinor. So the game is Among Us. And in the game Among Us, the whole idea of it basically is you have crewmates and you have someone who is an imposter. And during the game, you're supposed to try and identify the imposter. And this, I think, has been the biggest thing I have come to learn, because personally, I'm interested in tech on a very industrial scale, and that sometimes means I'm more interested in how a first world country is running their operations. Of course, I'm still interested in Kenya, but my mind is, yeah. So, and sometimes it can feel like being the African girl, you're the one who doesn't fit in. And this is now a personal experience, yeah. Like I said, you'll attend forums and be the only, if it's a girls in tech forum, you will be the one of 2 or 3. If it's a general tech forum, you'll find 500 boys and then a couple of girls in the mix, and still you won't be seeing African girls. And I think there's a very important role that representation and seeing people who look like you and have experiences like you occupying these spaces, because then it also validates that you also belong there. This is not just for them. I also belong there. But sometimes when it's just you who is the only one, it can feel like I'm the imposter and they're the ones who belong in that space. And I think that's one of the things I hope as I talk that you slowly get to understand, is that you do belong there. And it's still 2021, and you'll still find that a lot of us African girls will be occupying spaces for the first time. But I don't know, occupy those spaces so that the girls who come after us don't have to feel like, should I be here? Should I be doing computer science? Like, no, you deserve to be there. So yes, give me a second. My screen has hung. All right, so yes, my main objective is to let you African girls know that there's a place for you in tech. And these are my 6 nuggets of wisdom from my experiences to you, to what can help guide you through this process, to what can help let you know that you deserve to be there. These are just some of the things that have personally worked for me, and maybe they can work for you. My first one is participate in competitions. So I was very lucky even back in high school to have support when it came to participating in competitions, both locally and internationally. And what that did is it opened me up to a world very early also. Like, what are my peers doing? Yeah, I remember working on a project with people from different parts of the world when I was in my final year of high school. And I remember thinking, I can tell you like the structure of a plant and how the structure of the heart and its adaptations to its functions. These people can tell you about how different strains of algae have been developed and how they can be used for renewable energy, how solar panel technology has been developed since the 1950s, and I can't tell you. And so it showed me that there's a lot of catching up you have to do if you want to be at the same place as some people, and that's just life, I guess. But competitions teach you a lot. They teach you about what other people are doing, about what you can be doing to better yourself. The projects you put out in competitions can get you money, they can get you mentorship, they can end up being business opportunities. So I really encourage people, especially if you're interested in going into tech and building products and solutions, a good place to start by testing out how you are and even what parts, because tech is also very broad. You could want to be in software, you could want to be in hardware, you could want to be in robotics. Like, it's so broad. A good place to start would be put projects in competitions. And it's not even necessarily about whether I'm going to win this competition, but how much can I learn from it? How much can I learn from those I'm going to meet in this competition? If you can put yourself out there through competitions, they're also a very safe way to just test yourself, get very good feedback from renowned people around the world. So it's a very good opportunity. My second nugget is join forums. So there's a lot of forums that you'll find tech people like converge in, and they discuss on different topics. You can get advice, you can get help. If you're ever stuck, join them. That's all I can say. There's some specifically for girls in tech, like Girl Genius is also a very good one. They share opportunities, whether it's scholarships, whether it's if you're ever applying for universities abroad and need to talk to someone. They're very good forums to help you navigate through different channels, I guess. If you're into Android development, for example, and you don't know where to start, join an Android developers forum. Then they can tell you, this is what worked for me, start from here. If you're ever stuck, they can give you advice. Forums are very, 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 very good. Forums also, I'll do this / clubs in school. So depending on the schools you go to, our university, for example, has different clubs and societies where you can meet people who are just like you, and some will be interested in cloud computing and some will be interested in data science. These people can help. I'm like, you don't have to learn everything by yourself. learning it with other people can help really shorten the process. So if you can hasten how fast you get to the finish line, by all means do it. Don't take shortcuts, but you can go with somebody and they can help you shorten the journey, basically. My third nugget is try, fail, and learn. That, I think, the one thing I personally have really struggled with is failing, because nobody likes to lose, but I think that's another thing that being in this workspace can help, like give you a tougher skin, is that you're not also the smartest one. You're going to fail, you're going to try things and they don't work. You're going to try present ideas and people will be like, I don't think that's going to work. But never stop putting yourself in positions where you can learn. Even if you fail, it's a learning opportunity, and just keep going, because so much growth happens when you're in those uncomfortable situations. So please put yourself in positions where you can try, fail, pitch an idea. People will tell you that idea is not good, but imagine the next day you go and fix your business plan and you just keep going. Yeah, and especially as, again, women, I feel there's sometimes that hesitancy to be, I don't want to be too out there, I don't want to be too much. Please be too out there, be too much, like it's fine, like it's okay to be passionate. Just put yourself out there. There's nothing wrong with failing, but there's something very wrong with not trying at all. My fourth nugget out there is put yourself out there. This is something I did, especially LinkedIn, was very, very recent. And I was very surprised with how my LinkedIn slowly grew. And I think I still have a lot to build on. But LinkedIn is a very good place to start building yourself professionally and getting professional contacts. And like putting all your accomplishments, all your career, all the little projects you're gonna work on. LinkedIn is a very good place for that. You never know which person on LinkedIn will find you, and that's where you like launch your career from, or whichever the case. I believe if you're on this forum, you can have a LinkedIn, start learning how to build on it, and just start. You don't have to have it perfect, but just start. GitHub is also very good. If you don't know GitHub, I suggest you just look it up. So much on YouTube and online that can teach you about it. But it's also a very good place for you to start putting your projects. As someone in tech, one of the things I've come to learn, and this is learning from other people telling me about it, it's so important for you to start putting your projects in one central place, so that when you go to employers, for example, you're not just saying, I have a degree in computer science, because then they'll ask you, but what can you do? You can have a degree, but what skills do you have? Yeah. GitHub is a very good place for you, again, to have your skills in one place and show them, well, I built this website and I built this Android app. And then, you never know what opportunities can come from that. So GitHub is also very good. There's also a couple other places, but I just feel like these two are a good place to start. Yes, build your portfolio. My fifth nugget is to learn to say no. This one, again, is from personal experience. I think I don't know if some of you have seen that meme where someone is like, when you say you do computer science, so all of a sudden people are asking you, can you fix my computer screen? In fact, my computer is hanging. Can you? One of the things I'm starting to do is to understand that these small things people will ask you to do. Can you run my social media? Can you come and fix for me this website? And they'll present it as it's sort of like a favor. And at first, like, personally, again, I'd like allow it. It's like, this is a learning opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to learn. Even if I'm not getting any money out of it, at least I'm learning. And that opens you up to being taken advantage of. So personally, I think it's very important to use discernment now when you start building your career, in knowing this is something professional. We don't just do favors. If I'm doing work for you, we work with an MOU, we work with a contract, and this is paid for, and it's paid for in time. So also as you build your career, I think one of the speakers also mentioned it when it comes to, you know, learning how to even negotiate salary, for example. It starts by learning what you accept career-wise and what you don't. And this is not me saying your first website starts saying you want 500,000 Kenya shillings. If you think you're worth that, well and good. But I just think just learning to know which projects you can take on, and also learning to know that they are worth something, is very important from when you're very young, just so people don't just, you know, like walk all over you, if you know what I mean. My last nugget is lend a helping hand to the next in line. Now, I personally strongly believe that all of us, in whatever capacity, can help out somebody else, whether it's just by information, whether it's just I have the ability to, you know, share with the graduating class of KCSE leavers these opportunities, or, you know, there's always little things we can do to help out those who are coming next after us, that I feel is very important, just so people don't have to struggle on their own. Like, if you can, always help out. If you can go and teach a class on tech, if you can volunteer and go to a high school and give a career talk, like, by all means, please do that, because I think it's also very important, because you received a lot. If you really look at your life and see all the things you've managed to achieve, you'll also see that there's been people along the way who've helped you get to where you're going. So in the same way, help somebody else, and then they'll help somebody else. And so my way of giving back has been Jalia Club. And of course, if you ever want to discuss this after this forum, we can always discuss it. But Jalia Club was basically initiated for me and a friend of mine to give back, to help girls who come after us, when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to them having the knowledge and skills to navigate this world of ours. And so, in the same breath, I encourage you all, in whatever capacity, help out the next one who's coming after you. Very important. So those are my 6 nuggets of advice. Of course, my closing remark is that you are not an imposter. You are African and you are a female in tech, and you belong in that space. So occupy that space with all your might. Don't let anybody dim your shine. Don't let anybody make you doubt yourself. You are not an imposter in this industry. You actually belong to, deserve to be there. And if you've not watched Hidden Figures, I highly suggest you do, because I don't think there's a lot of movies that actually depict women in science and tech actually just being badass at what they do. And Octavia Spencer said how she is really hopeful that after seeing the story that was depicted in Hidden Figures, that there will be girls in the world who will realize just how much value they have. And I think that's also the goal of my talk, is that I hope you also see the value that you have in tech and whatever other career you are in. To the boys as well, you're not forgotten. I really hope you also see that you have a lot of value to give to this world. Don't let anyone ever rob you of that. And with that, I end my talk. I hope I've not talked for too long. That is my email address in case you ever want to reach me. And Maria Gitau is my name on LinkedIn in case you want to connect. I'm always free, not always, but I am sometimes free. And we can always pick up the conversation after this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. That was a powerful presentation. We really loved your nuggets of wisdom. We are glad you had a presentation, because we have absolutely loved it and enjoyed just being taken through the 6 nuggets of wisdom. I can already see on the chat section, Diana is asking how she can contact you with Jalia Club, but I can already see you've shared your email address. So Diana, feel free to contact her. It was definitely an insightful and a powerful way to actually end the webinar. You did it just right. Thank you so much, Maria. So compliments from everyone. In case, does anyone have a question for Maria? since she's still here, maybe you can ask her anything you'd like to ask her. Okay, great presentation. Everyone is just great presentation. So thank you so much, Maria, for your time. Maybe I can share my screen just for a bit. Okay. So thank you so much, Maria, for your presentation. And now I'd just like to invite one of our staff here at eMobilis. His name is King Wanyama. We'll be talking about the poster that is on the screen. So Mr. Wanyama, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Claire. So I got so many stuff that I can talk about. Specifically, you said I'm going to talk about what?
Well, you can wish all of us here a happy International Girls in Ict Day, and then speak about the poster. This one for the full stack development course.
Super great. Yeah. So good morning and happy International Girls in IT or something like that.
ICT Day.
In ICT, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I hope I'm not the only gentleman right here today, but though I'm extremely excited that I'm here amongst the ladies. I can feel the warmth, trust me. Yeah, so, well, every other person could be looking at the poster that we're looking at right now, but you see, you might not tell really why these guys are these inside, tunazasemaje, yani wako na hizi vitu zenye ni poa poa hapa, eh? So just what I could say is, guys, if you pay for a full stack software development course, what exactly do you expect? Then what is the importance of you now doing Python or maybe say JavaScript? And to make matters even more beautiful and more sugar-coated somehow per se, it's free, yeah? So software development course to begin with is a 69,500 course right here at eMobilis, yeah? And you see, if you receive that scholarship, that means it could be, clear, this should be a partial scholarship, isn't it? Not full scholarship, yeah? If I'm not wrong, yeah. So partial scholarship, but yeah, partial, super great, yeah. So that means you're going to get to pay 48,000, 48,000, yeah, 48K with definitely a 1,500 registration fee. But that means you have gotten a really great deal in the town. Why? Because now what you're going to do in software development, for one, you're going to learn at least 7 steps in one. So the 7 steps are, you're going to learn something called HTML. You're going to learn something called CSS. You're going to learn something called Bootstrap. Yeah, you're going to learn PHP. You're going to learn MySQL. All these are programming languages. And for mobile, you're going to do Java/Kotlin. So when I say slash, is either or, yeah? So you're going to do Java and you're going to do Android programming. Now, if you guys don't know exactly what this is, now, assuming a client is going to hire you today, let me use a random person. I want to use a really beautiful female name today in this call. Let me use Annette or Annie or Annette, yeah? Now, Annette, I'd like you to do me a website, but again, by the time you're doing a website, I'll also like you to create a mobile application of the users to access the same stuff around the website. That means someone can go to the website to update stuff, and the same person can do something of the same kind on a mobile application. Probably go build a website that is going, maybe you're going to sell stuff, like maybe you have a cloth line, someone can add stuff to cart, and they can pay directly, yeah? They can pay directly from their Mbesya. So it is an extremely charming stuff to have on the market, a website that someone can buy stuff from your website or from the mobile application. Then someone can pay via Mbesya. But you see, it is even more charming if someone can do the same thing from both the website and the mobile application. Yeah, this is extremely a deal you can't even nego. I mean, if you're going to go for this course that we are looking at a poster right now, you're going to be, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to do a web system or a website for that matter. And you're going to also do a mobile application. Then by the time we are doing, or maybe we are teaching you on how to do mobile applications, we will have to choose. You either take Java or you take Kotlin. Yeah, Kotlin as a programming language for mobile development. So it's upon you. But now here comes the catch. You guys are going to be doing the web development. You're going to do maybe all those stuff that I've mentioned. But now your design might not look really good. Yeah. So some other person is going to say, now I've done all these stuffs, but there are things that I cannot do without JavaScript. So some of you guys are going to be required to pay more for JavaScript. Some of you guys are going to be required to pay more for Python. Especially some of you guys will want to do web systems, but because Python at some point people consider it to be more secure, someone will want to do it using Python. Yeah, maybe a client wants you to do a website for them, but they want you to lift some very useful graphs. Yeah, maybe some data statistics and stuff like that. So at this point, you will need Python. But you see now, this package that you guys are getting, fine. You're doing the HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, Java, MySQL, and Android, and Java / Kotlin. But again, you're getting JavaScript free. You are getting Python free of charge. So anyway, I can't decide for you. If you decide, you decide. If you don't decide, it's upon you. But trust me, it is a skill. If you get this, is a skill you never regret. So the choice is all yours. Clear. I can't even speak more than that. If someone is seeing something this, let's meet in our classes and I will show it. We will show them what to do the best.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Wanyama, for that. I'd really like to thank you. I think the gist of what you said is that once you pay for the full stack development software course, you get the Python or JavaScript absolutely free. So in case you have any questions about that, I think on the chat section, you've been able to put our numbers and also our email address in case you have any question, because yeah, terms and conditions still apply. So thank you so much, Mr. Wanyama, we appreciate. So right now, maybe I'd just like to open up the floor for any questions. Let me go through the chat section in case someone had asked a question. So kindly just, yeah, in case you have any question, if I think I saw someone had a question. Just a minute, let me go back a bit up. I had seen Andrew Balongo, you had said yes question. You still would like to maybe speak? Andrew? Okay, just a minute. Okay. Okay. So Andrew, okay. So do you have a package for data science? So yes, as eMobilis, there's a data science package, which goes for 40,000 shillings for 2 months. So in case you're interested, again, please do call the lines that have been put in the chat section or email us. We will get further assistance. So how do I get a scholarship? Who is interested in learning? Also, we can create a WhatsApp group to motivate each other if you don't mind. Okay, I think that's a very good and valid idea. I don't think anyone has an issue with that. Yeah, so maybe you can, if you can do that, maybe you can post the link here so that people who are interested to join can just use the link to join the WhatsApp group. So is there any other question? Let me just go through the chat. But in case you have a question and you'd like to add, just let us know. You can go ahead. So questions in terms of any question for the speakers, any questions for us, that would be fine. Okay, the chat, I can see there are no questions. Yeah, so okay, so at Joan, you mentioned being an author of Tech in the Eyes of a Woman. Not sure I got the title right. Maybe you could talk a little bit about it. How do you balance being a CEO, writing, family? So I think Joan might have stepped out, but there's the team is here. So could anyone in Joan's team, TechMindset Africa, just, okay, I don't think they'll be able to answer this on her behalf since she's not here. But maybe if you guys have the title of that book or a link where people can find it, you could post it below kindly. So thank you, Diana. I've seen you've already created the WhatsApp link. So guys, you can feel free to join it and yeah, so that you can engage more. So King Wanyama, how long does the data science course take? So for data science, it's a 2-month course. It's 40,000. Please feel free to call the Safaricom or Airtel line that has been posted to get further details or any further assistance. But it's 40,000 for 2 months. Any other question, maybe for any other speaker?
Claire?
Yes?
Maybe I can assist in explaining a bit about our program in science, how we take it. So I've seen you've asked if it's beginner friendly. Yes, it's very beginner friendly. Just a minute. So our program is beginner friendly and we start from the basic. So if you don't have knowledge in Python, we train you in Python. So we have the Python stack and we also have the R stack. We'll give you guidance on which stack maybe you're most interested in. Then if you take the Python stack, we learn Python development, how to code in Python. Then we begin into the 4 steps of the program. So depending on that particular class, the machine learning models, it takes approximately 2 months to be able to learn the machine learning, the data science program. And if you do not have any knowledge in Python, we also add an extra 2 weeks for you to be able to learn. So it will take approximately 2.5 months when you start learning to when you will be able to come up with a project. So the requirement to be able to graduate and end the program is to come up with a practical problem-solving project that will be analyzed in a panel of very able scientists. And I'm sure during the program, you'll be able also to work on, it's a project-based approach where we learn working on projects. So that's our way of learning the program. So unless maybe there's a clarification, you can ask, but feel free to call the office for more guidance on the same.
Yeah, thank you for that, Meg. Thank you for just going through the detailed explanation for that. And as you heard from the poster, the offer that King Wanyama just was explaining is that if you pay for the full stack development software course in full, then you get Python or JavaScript as an additional free course. So many youth are being convicted of cybercrimes. What happens to their careers after they are released? Are employers taking them in? Maybe you can give us insights on whether your respective organizations recruit ex-convicts, e.g. eMobilis, Ajira, Microsoft, TechMindset Africa. Okay, this is quite an interesting question. Could we have any of our speakers just speak on this? Dephence, Elinor?
I can talk about Microsoft.
Okay.
So Microsoft is an equal opportunity employer. That means that for most, if not actually for all the jobs that they post, they don't discriminate in any way where you've come from. You won't not get the job because you're of a certain race or gender or religion or any of those things. The same thing applies to ex-convicts. They do have a chance they're free to also apply at Microsoft. And okay, what usually happens though is part of the process of applying at Microsoft, once you do the interviews, there's a point just before you start and after you've done your last interview where they do a background check. And when they do this background check, they look at everything that's on your CV. They call to confirm everything that you've written. For example, if you went to this school, you graduated, they'll call to confirm. If you wrote that you worked here, they'll call those people to confirm and all that. They do like a complete background check that lasts maybe around a week to 3 weeks. And also part of that is they'll check your criminal records and all that. I haven't heard of a story where someone was found with something on their criminal record and they were denied an opportunity. I don't think so. But I'm not sure what happens if your case exactly is because of cyberbullying or a certain cybercrime. I'm not sure what happens, but what I do know is they don't discriminate how they employ people. So a person like that would still have a chance to apply. They'd still be able to apply and go through interviews the same way. They won't be discouraged. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think that was a good explanation on the side of Microsoft. Maybe we can have someone from TechMindset, the team, to just answer that before we close. Is the team still here? Okay, maybe we can have the last one from Dephence for your case. Okay, I think she might have just stepped out from the meeting, but maybe to speak on behalf of eMobilis, I'd share some sentiments of what Elinor has said about background checks, and we've not experienced such a case before, for sure. So, but I'm sure we'll just go through the channels of, do a background check, see what had happened. But I think your skills are what would sell you. But if you have really maybe a tainting one, maybe that would just take a few more weeks to just evaluate what happened. And then from there, maybe the HR now would now sit with the MD and find out if this is something now that is too much or we could still take this person. So yeah. So thank you so much for all your questions. I'd like to thank our speakers for today, from Jedidah to Elinor to Joanne to Meg to Dephence, and lastly Maria. Thank you for taking your time to just be part of this webinar. We really do appreciate. We hope to have many other sessions like this. Like as I had said before, we did this last year and it was a great session and we got great feedback. So that's why we did it again this year. So I'd like to thank you all participants for your engagement, for your tweeting, for the questions, for everything that you've done. Thank you so much for just being part of this session. And a big shout out to also to all the men who have joined us, who have shared in the conversation. We do really appreciate your time. So happy International Girls in ICT Day. Thank you for making this webinar success. And also thank you to my team who are tweeting and helping me in the moderation. Thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely day. Yeah. So goodbye to everyone. Ramadan Kareem.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.